friends. Happy Tuesday. It is late. It is late. So welcome, Terry here, and I'm just going to give a quick hello to you, and then I'm just going to show you some pictures afterwards. But this weekend we were busy doing peaches and ended up canning 21 pints of peaches, sliced peaches, and then about 21 pints froze that we flash froze and then froze. So by Sunday my feet and legs were so achy and hurting that when we went to bed Sunday night about 2 a.m. I could not get to sleep. They just ached so bad. I got up and took some Advil to sleep and everything. So then my whole goal was Monday wasn't going to do a darn thing but sit in this recliner. Well, there is a gal local that has a greenhouse. It's called Plant Life Farms, and she's over at Middleville, not very far from us really. And she had posted this was her last week. Friday would be her last day. And then she was going to be shutting down because she didn't have too many stuff left. Well, we went one other time and we got beautiful stuff from her. Hydrangeas for like 15 bucks. We got a white lace hydrangea, and then I got a dahlia and some other things like that. And so this time things were marked down to $7, $4, $2. She did have some vegetable stuff for like $1. So we hopped in the car and we went there because I have that new flower bed. And y'all, I didn't spend $100, but pretty darn close. But we were able to get at least 2 more hydrangeas. What did I get? 4 different grasses. They are lime green, and they get only 10 inches high, but they do kind of spread together. I got a couple coleuses, and I got 3 different kinds of hostas. Seems like there was something else, but anyways, so it's in the pictures coming up. So needless to say, when we were coming back, I said to him, how about if we stop to our local nursery, Cotance, because they have the begonias, because he always plants begonias every year. And so I knew that they were like $18 for a flat. So we stopped there, and we did pick up the begonias in a multicolor. They were the darker green leaves, and then it was pinks or whites. So I have a light right here, so no matter where I'm going to set, there's going to be a light. And then we checked out, got in the car, and Jerry said to me, did you see that table next to the checkout that said that they had Impatiens for a flat for $12? Well, I like Impatiens, and we got a lot of shady area. So we went back in and looked on the table. Well, they had also pansies. Now, pansies are my favorite flower, maybe because they have that face on them and stuff. And so I got a flat of pansies, and I got the flat that had the deep velvet purple looking color, and then a white and a yellow in it. So we got home, we had lunch, then about 2:30 we went outside and we started planting. We got everything planted. I'm telling you, this old gal here is now used to doing a lot like that. Probably within an hour, hour and a half, we had it all done. And thanks to my hubby, because the bigger potted stuff, he took the shovel and he did that. The annuals and stuff I was able to dig up, or if he was using the small shovel, the dirt was loose enough I could get him in there. So we got that new flower bed pretty much done. And then the begonias and the impatiens and some other little ones we put along our fence row. And then we put out front some begonias and some of the grasses and stuff. We were both pretty tired, I'm telling you. So today, got up, and he wanted to mow because we're supposed to be getting rain, which we did, and all through Thursday. So he wanted to mow and weed whack, and so he was able to mow and weed whack, and then he weed whacked in my garden, the walkways, and then I don't know, this afternoon, of course this morning all I did was that I worked on my English paper piecing quilt project. I did get clue 5 done. They're on clue 6, but I got clue 5 done. And then I did get my one pair of socks done, which is, well, I'll include that in the pictures. And then I started day 3 of the Superstar 6-day Superstar blanket by Betty McNett. And so I was supposed to make bread today, but that didn't happen because I sat here and I got stuff done, and then I went and had breakfast. It was a late breakfast because we actually slept until like 9:30. That was just unreal for us. And I was going to go outside. He was already outside. He had weed whacked and stuff like that, and he was working in a flower bed, and I thought, oh, I need to go change the hummingbird food. So I went out, put my shoes on and stuff, and I got out there, and of course it was warm. It was like 77 out, and I thought, oh, you need a hat on. I don't know why I needed a hat on just to go get that, but I had already forgot what I was going to do. And I went and got a hat, got my garden gloves, and then I went into the garden. And I started looking things over in the garden, and I saw, a couple weeds here and there. And in the, what I call our cabbage patch, it has cauliflower and 2 types of cabbages in it. That one really needed to be weeded, so I uncovered it with the insect netting and proceeded to, pull all the weeds out of that. And lo and behold, I found 2 more potato plants that started growing. Now, we had potato plants in that bed last year. So far, this makes 16 potato plants that has volunteered to come up. These 2 were at least this tall. So I moved it over where the other volunteer potatoes are. So got that done. And then went over to the tomato plants and started weeding around them and trimmed them up on the bottom. I like to trim at least 2 or 3 of the leaves or the branches down below, so it leaves a good stalk for airflow and stuff. And I did that on both sides. And then Jerry came over, and he had brought me out my tomato cages, and 2 of the tomatoes were already leaning into the trellis, and I will eventually go get some clips out in my shed and clip those 2. But I put a tomato cage on the one, and then he did the Romas, and we have 4 of those, so we got those done. And then I had some little plants, little flower plants I had started. I got those all planted, and I'm trying to think how many I had. There was 9, 10, 11, 12. So I got those all planted. Got my Space Master bush cucumbers planted last night in a pot with a trellis behind it. And then I started some Detroit red beets in that pot with it, and because these only get like 3-inch globes. I know the leaves will get way bigger, but so needless to say, I have been moving so much outside and coming in that my feet just they just hurt. And I am wearing my tennis shoes, but today we sat there and we knew rain was coming, and we're picking stuff up and, you know, doing the last minute stuff, and it started sprinkling. So we got all the tools around and everything and got things taken care of and came inside, and it sprinkled for about 5 minutes, and then the sun came out. Well, he went back out to do something else, and then came back in, and it just got jet black. I mean, the skies were dark. You could hear the thunder, and so you knew you were going to get rain. And I'm sitting here watching YouTube, and all of a sudden it just downpours, and it's a hard rain. But then all of a sudden they were big drops, and it didn't sound like rain, and it turned into pea-sized hail. So for about 5 minutes it hailed, and you'll see that in the clips too. And it was just like, it was here for, you know, maybe 15 minutes, but it hailed the last 5 minutes of it. And then when it stopped, the sun came out just like nothing. And we had like all the hail pockets in the chair up on front, you know, in my netting on the ground, on the deck, you know. But it went from 77 degrees to 67. So, and we've had a little bit of rain since then, but we got more coming tonight. Speaking of which, it's just thundering. I don't think you'll pick it up, but if you can, that was thunder. So I wanted to take you around today and show you the garden and the flowers and everything, but that's going to have to wait for another day. So I thought I would come on. I am going to, I think, try for Tuesdays and Fridays to be on right now. And you never know, there might be a pop-up one if I feel like I want to share and show you what I'm doing. But for right now, Tuesdays and Fridays. So I hope that you enjoy the pictures and the video, and I just want to say thank you for joining in and sticking with me and all that stuff. But till we can meet up again, hopefully on Friday. Thanks, my friends.
I remember when I saw your face from afar. In an instant I was changed. You with your friends, but I was taken. I embarrassed myself but couldn't wait. And I smile when I think of the day I asked you a question in a public place. Loving you was the best choice I never made. 'Cause every day I wanna be better. I wanna give what you've given me. My world, you're the center. I wanna stay in your gravity. just a couple of birds flying westward, down the coast, across the ocean, wide and blue. Love drunk, I wrote a little love song, something you made me brave enough to do. And every day's an adventure with you. I would travel to places we never knew. When it's unsteady, I'll tell you this simple truth, that every day I wanna be better. I wanna give what you've given me. My world, you're the center. I wanna stay in your gravity. You're the earth and I'm your moon. Always be with you. Every day